Hey everyone, Joe over at Emory Networks. Just wanted to provide a little bit of a tip and knowledge base on how to use some of the new document features, specifically around sharing documents and permissions, that comes with the new M365 ecosystem that you guys are currently exploring. So here we have a new Excel document. It is open in my URL right now, but this would be the same set of values and principles applied to this document if I had opened it up in a local application. So I opened it up via Excel like this. Okay. It's all because everything we do now through the Microsoft ecosystem syncs with our OneDrive. So our OneDrive is also connected to SharePoint. So SharePoint and OneDrive are kind of one and the same. OneDrive specific for you, and then SharePoint is kind of meant for the entire org. So because OneDrive is meant for you and your documents are when you create a new document, it gets created in OneDrive, the permissions are set so nobody else can view it because it's supposed to be private because it's your OneDrive. And then one of the permissions we set for data security is to ensure that we're not sharing data outside of the organization unintentionally, which means that you can't share your document with a link within or to anyone outside of the organization. And that's going to make a little bit more sense in a second. So we'll start with sharing. We're in a new document, created this new Excel file, right? We're going to call this my time card. I want to make a time card, right? A weekly time tracking sheet, with all my days and the times that I work. And I'm going to create a template. And then I'm going to copy that template and I'm going to add it to a new worksheet. But for right now, this is my first week of work, okay? So let's rename this. This is week 1, right? And then my next time card comes on week 2, okay? So I'm going to copy it, go over to my week 2. I'm going to rename it to week 2. Okay, so now I have week 1's time and week 2's time, and I'm going to keep going on and on. And let's say I want to share this document with the business manager because I have to do a weekly time card. But I don't want to send her a weekly email with a new Excel spreadsheet every single time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this document with her and give her permission to view it. And there's 2 ways to do it. You'll notice up here, there's, on the top left, 4th one in, there's the share button, which when we click on it, creates a new share button and a set of 3 actions underneath it. And then in the top right, we have the share button as well. It doesn't really matter which one you click on. They're all going to interact the same way. They're going to go to the same interface. So let's go ahead and click share. It's going to bring up this box where we can type in the name of the person we want to share. Let's say I want to give it to Jane. Jane, this is my time card. To the right of her name, you're going to notice another box with 3 options. Can edit, just what it says. Anybody can, or that person can make changes to the document. So if you have them with can edit, they can go in here and they could potentially overwrite your data, okay? And they can add notes to it. So a good note would be like, oh, Jane, this has been completed, right? And, this is Jane's column and she's putting a note. And one of the things that you'll notice as you start getting into this ecosystem is that it's actually going to have her initials with this showing who typed the changes in. So once you get into these really big ecosystems of documents, it's a really good way if you have 50 people working on a single document, you can tell who typed what. Okay, it's pretty neat. But anyways, back to the share. So we gave it to Jane, and we want to let her make changes. Okay, or it defaults to can view, but they can't make changes. One thing about can view is that the document can still be downloaded. And when it's downloaded, it's taken from the cloud and put directly onto your computer as a document, and it's not going to be linked. And again, I'm going to describe the links a little bit more detail in a minute. And then you have can view, but not download, which is a very good default, especially if you don't want somebody to be able to download the document. Okay, so now we have a couple choices here. We can hit send, and this will send it in real time to their email. The only caveat is that you need to be logged into your email. You don't have to have an email open, but you have to be into your email. And your email that you're in has to be the same. it has to be bianh.org, right? So first name at that company in order to send it, and it's going to come from you, right? The second part is we can click this gear icon right here, and this just gives another bit of settings for the link. Okay, we can set an expiration so they can only access it for a week, a day, 24 hours, right? We can set the settings again. We can manage the people who have access, and if you notice when I click on who has access, you can assign granular permissions based on who it is. So this test account can view it, but Jane can edit it, and then the owner can do everything to it. If you click on groups, we can add groups. Groups can be the entire org, supervisors only, HR, marketing, so on and so forth. Links gives you a link to it, and if you click it, it brings you right back to that original page that we're kind of used to, right here. Bottom left, manage access, brings us right back to this. So as you can see, it all kind of works together. If you click on advanced, it brings you to another kind of interface that happens to deal with documents. And it's another way that if you had a lot of documents and you wanted to do a bunch of permissions on a bunch of documents, it's another way to do it. And then if you're kind of old school, contribute means edit, but some people might think of contribute in a different way as edit. It might be more user-friendly to read. Just a couple different ways, okay? So that's number one. This is with all Microsoft documents. So it's Word, it's Excel, it's PowerPoint, so on and so forth. But I can think of a good use where if you have to send a weekly document to somebody within the org, and the only thing that changes every week is the data that's within the document, okay? This is a good way to share that document with that person by giving them permission. And then what you'll notice is that this document has a link. It's a very specific link that goes to this document. So when you share that, they're going to get that document and that link. And what that means is that just like going to a web page, they can put that link in, or they could save it as a bookmark, and they can access it anytime they needed to in real time with the changes. So let's say you made an error on your time card, and instead of getting an email back like, hey, Monday's wrong, are you sure you did that? Could you change it and send it back? You could just change it and let them know, hey, that's all set. And then that person can open it up that you've shared it with, and they're going to see the changes, okay? And that person can still print it. They can still export it. If you give them permissions, they can download it, so on and so forth. So it's a really powerful, easy way where if we do a tiny bit of work in the front end with setting up permissions and templates, in the back end, it's going to save you a lot of manual time over the course of weeks and months, okay? So the second thing I wanted to note that I think some people might be confused on is emails. So here is a document that I created. It's local on my desktop, and I want to share it. There's two ways to share it. So if I click it and drag it into my new email, you're going to notice on the left-hand side, a box pops up that says upload to OneDrive and share link. It does just that. It's going to take this local document I created. It's going to put it in my OneDrive, and then it's going to share it as a link. And if you hover over it, you're going to notice that it's a link. And if you click it, okay, you're going to have a couple different options, but let's say we want to open it. When you open it, you're opening that document, but it's actually their OneDrive that you're opening. So if I send you a document from my OneDrive, you're accessing my OneDrive to see that document, which is why the permissions have to be there, because our OneDrives are just that. They're our personal repository. So here, share, right? Same thing. We're going to have those same buttons come up, the same interface, the same appearance. So this document, I've shared it with nobody, but I'm the owner of it, so I can do whatever I need to. I can stop sharing, I can remove permissions, I can add people, same thing as before. You'll notice over here I can download it because I'm the owner. I can favorite this file. I can delete this file. There's a lot of different options that are available with this file because I'm the owner, but also because I share it. And right here, it shows that I have the item open. So if this was let's say you shared this and they open it and you're in it, it's going to show, or let's say there's 50 people in it, it's going to show all the people that are open and active within the document. Okay. So the other thing that I think people are kind of used to is that they're used to taking a document and just attaching it to an email and sending it. So here on the right-hand side, we have the attached files. That's the traditional, this document is going to be sent not as a OneDrive link, okay? But it's going to send the actual document, okay? So if you want to do the traditional, I want to take my Excel document, I want to send them the actual document that they can, put on a USB and move to a different computer and open, and it's on the USB and they don't need internet to access it, so on and so forth. You're going to take this document and you're going to attach it, and then it's going to send like a normal document that anybody that receives it can download it, view it, edit it, change it, so on and so forth, unless you've set specific permissions within the document via some of the security permissions, right? So write, read, execute, allow, right? This is a little advanced, but I'm just giving you an example that we can set specific permissions for the document, and it doesn't matter if it's online or offline. It'll prevent it from being printed or edited, so on and so forth. That's pretty common. But in this case, we're taking the document and sending it as a physical copy. Okay, so if you didn't mean to, and you sent it, here I've downloaded it, right, twice. If we didn't mean to send the document as a OneDrive and we actually meant to send it, we just got to be a little careful and make sure we do the attached files via the right side. I hope this answers a bunch of questions and a little bit of confusion when it comes to how we send documents and some of the possibilities with sharing them. If you have any feedback, if you have any more questions, feel free to call or text or Teams, whatever is comfortable, or of course email, and I'm happy to respond and help you guys through anything I can. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.